Have you ever wondered why it's so rare to see a Japanese toddler having a full-blown meltdown in public? Imagine walking through a crowded Tokyo train station during rush hour. Thousands of people are moving in every direction, yet children often seem surprisingly calm, patient, and cooperative. The secret isn't that Japanese kids are naturally quieter or easier to raise. It's something far more fascinating. Hidden inside Japanese family culture is a parenting routine that quietly teaches emotional control, independence, and self-awareness from an incredibly young age. And once you understand how it works, you may start looking at tantrums in a completely different way. Most parents see a tantrum as bad behavior that needs to be stopped immediately. But many Japanese parents view tantrums differently. Instead of treating them as battles to win, they see them as opportunities to teach emotional regulation. This mindset changes everything. In Japan, there is a deep cultural value called omoiyari, which roughly translates to empathy and consideration for others. Children begin learning this concept almost from birth. Rather than constantly correcting every emotional outburst with punishment or rewards, parents focus on helping children understand how their actions affect the people around them. Over time, kids develop a stronger awareness of emotions, both their own and those of others. One of the biggest differences in Japanese parenting is the emphasis on routine. Japanese families often create highly predictable daily schedules. Wake-up times, meal times, play times, bath times, and bedtime tend to happen at nearly the same time every day. At first glance, this might seem simple or even boring, but for toddlers, predictability creates a sense of security. Young children struggle when they feel uncertain about what comes next. Unexpected changes can overwhelm their developing brains and trigger emotional explosions. When a child knows exactly what to expect throughout the day, anxiety decreases and cooperation naturally increases. Another fascinating aspect is how Japanese parents prepare children before transitions. Instead of suddenly announcing that playtime is over, they often give gentle warnings ahead of time. A parent may say that there are 10 minutes left, then 5 minutes, then 1 minute. This gives the child time to mentally adjust. Many tantrums happen because children feel their control is being taken away. By preparing them gradually, parents reduce the shock that often causes emotional outbursts. It's a small habit, but it can completely change how children respond. Perhaps the most surprising part of the Japanese approach is how little shouting is involved. In many cultures, adults raise their voices when children refuse to cooperate. But Japanese parents often remain remarkably calm during difficult moments. This doesn't mean they are permissive. In fact, discipline, known as shitsuki, is taken very seriously. However, shitsuke is less about punishment and more about teaching proper behavior through consistency and example. Parents understand that children copy what they see. If adults react with anger and frustration, children learn to do the same. If adults remain composed, children gradually absorb that emotional stability. There is also a strong focus on independence from an early age. Many Japanese toddlers are encouraged to handle simple tasks by themselves. They learn to put away toys, carry small bags, help prepare meals, and participate in household responsibilities. This might sound unrelated to tantrums, but it actually plays a huge role. Children who feel capable and trusted develop a stronger sense of confidence. They don't constantly seek control through emotional outbursts because they already experience a healthy level of autonomy in their daily lives. The Japanese philosophy of kaizen also quietly influences parenting. Kaizen means continuous improvement through small daily steps. Instead of expecting immediate perfection, parents focus on gradual progress. If a child struggles with sharing, patience, or following instructions, the goal isn't instant obedience. The goal is helping them become slightly better over time. This approach removes enormous pressure from both parents and children. Instead of daily power struggles, parenting becomes a process of steady growth. Something else that often surprises people is how Japanese families handle public behavior. Rather than constantly warning children about consequences, parents frequently model expected behavior themselves. Children observe adults speaking softly, waiting patiently, and respecting shared spaces. Through observation, these habits become normal. Human beings are natural imitators, especially during childhood. Kids learn far more from what parents do than from what parents say. That's why modeling calm behavior is often more powerful than any lecture. Japanese homes also tend to embrace a form of practical minimalism. This doesn't necessarily mean owning very few possessions, but it does mean reducing unnecessary clutter and distractions. Many parents believe that an organized environment helps create a calmer mind. When children are surrounded by endless stimulation, their attention becomes fragmented and emotional regulation becomes harder. Simpler environments often encourage deeper focus, longer attention spans, and more peaceful behavior. Another powerful lesson comes from the concept of belonging. In Japanese culture, children are often encouraged to see themselves as important members of a group, whether that's the family, classroom, or community. They learn that their actions impact everyone around them. This sense of responsibility develops naturally over time. Instead of behaving well simply to avoid punishment, children begin cooperating because they understand their role within a larger social system. That shift in motivation can be incredibly powerful. Of course, no parenting method completely eliminates tantrums. Toddlers are still toddlers. They get tired, hungry, frustrated, and overwhelmed. But the Japanese routine focuses on reducing the conditions that make tantrums more likely in the first place. Predictable schedules, calm communication, gradual transitions, early independence, empathy training, and consistent modeling all work together like pieces of a puzzle. None of these strategies are dramatic on their own. Their true power comes from being practiced every single day. What makes this approach so effective is that it doesn't aim to control children. Instead, it helps children learn how to control themselves. That's a huge difference. The ultimate goal isn't a perfectly obedient child. The goal is a capable, emotionally intelligent human being who understands their feelings and knows how to navigate them. In a world that often looks for quick parenting hacks and instant solutions, Japanese families remind us that lasting results usually come from small, consistent habits repeated over time. The real secret behind fewer tantrums isn't a magic trick or hidden technique. It's a culture of patience, empathy, routine, and steady growth. And perhaps that's the lesson we can all take away. When we focus less on controlling behavior and more on building character, we don't just raise calmer children. We help shape stronger, kinder, and more resilient adults.